It's a quiet Monday morning in Cape Town, but Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua has a diplomatic incident on her hands. She's heading out to the leafy suburb of Constantia, where many foreign embassies and consulates are located.
We got a call from the Czech consulate saying that there's a porcupine in the garden. They don't know how the porcupine got inside. They are a bit concerned that they have a reachback, so they don't want the reachback getting harmed by the porcupine in any way. So we're just going to go down just to see where the porcupine is, and hopefully we can guide him gently into the box, and then from there we'll release him.
The consulate's ridgeback guard dog is being kept well out of the way. Kira's brought Inspector Wayne Hector to give her a hand. This is Wayne's first porcupine case. Porcupines are not usually aggressive, but if they feel threatened, they can use their needle-sharp quills to attack.
What you basically have to be aware that he doesn't actually run into you with the quills. They just run into the person or animal that's causing a threat to them. So one person go behind with the board, another one on this side so he doesn't head this way. Because what we want to do is just like move him into the box.
So into the fence and all along to the box.
Put the box over there.
They need to persuade the porcupine to go into the pet carrier under its own steam.
Let me go to the back because they reverse into, or rather go to the back. I've got a bigger board. But they tend to reverse into you, so.
The quills are barbed, so once they're in the skin, they're very difficult and painful to get out.
I just need one of you guys just to block off this area over here. Hey, guy.
Okay, what's it?
No.
What? Other way. Oh, no. Put it in the net, in the net.
Like many wild animals, the porcupine is at its most dangerous when it's cornered.
Wait. Wait. Box.
That's it. Wait.
Fish the box quickly. Wasn't obviously as we wanted. Didn't want to put him in the net or anything. But now it's the mission of, from the net, guide him into the box. Give me the box. Okay. Oh, birds. Oh, damn it. Wait, mine.
The man at the gate is perilously close to those quills.
Give me the box. No. Wayne, flush it against there. Make sure that you can just close the box. Put it on the door. Okay, into the box, babes. Into the box. Sorry. Into the box. Here we go.
Is he very stressed now?
Well, for anybody, like when we get stressed, the heart rate increases and that. So what we need to do right now is just move him like really quickly to an area where he can be released and just calm down. We're taking him through to Orange Cliff on that side by Table Mountain National Park. So the rangers are going to meet us there at that point, and we're just going to release him.
Kira doesn't want to keep the porcupine in the box any longer than necessary. She's already arranged a release site.
Nice. Are you on a flat? You have to go out now. Come on. Okay, it's coming. Feed him.
Yeah, he's back home, yeah, in the wild. He's lucky. Some of them don't make it. I don't know if it's the place where he was born, but at least it's more like home to him, so he's familiar with the environment.
Porcupine definitely gave us a run for our money. Like our idea of how we're going to capture him, he didn't like that idea. But it was good, and even at the end, he had his own idea of which way he's going to go, not our way, which is wildlife for you. So, yeah, so it's a good ending.
It's a good ending for Kira, and a new beginning in a safe environment for the porcupine. Inspector Wilbur Kenkebi and trainee Inspector Jacques Buis are on their way to Mitchell's Plain. Wilbur's following up on a recent investigation. A horse is being kept in a garage with a concrete floor, no bedding, and barely room to turn around.
This is the horse, Wilbur?
Yeah.
Hello.
I was here the day before yesterday and left a warning note, but no, he hasn't done anything.
Wilbur's new to the horse care unit, but Jacques is a horse specialist, and he agrees the animal's not being properly looked after.
They haven't got shoes on, only one shoe, the one foot.
If you can see here, this is cement. A horse can't stay in a place like that. It has to be a bedding on here. The living condition is not good. It's too hard and it's too cold at night. This becomes very cold at night. It is cruel to keep him on this condition. For this size of horse, the space is not enough. It's not big enough. Okay,
The owner's not there, so they explain their concerns to his daughter.
The horse have to have bedding at all times.
They went to go look for bedding, but they have to go pay for the bedding.
You have to spend money for horses.
Yeah.
Can you show me the feeding, where you keep your feeding and on what are you feeding it on?
Is it al wat julle vir hom gee?
Yeah, because
Okay.
they're going to buy the others today.
And it's not suitable for a horse that is standing and is not working. Wilbur, I think what you must do is give a warning where the owner and we can have an appointment so that we can discuss this. Because he must give us answers, or otherwise we must take steps. Because this is cruel to keep the animal in this garage. It's like taking you and lock you up in a bathroom.
Now Jacques decides to take a look around the property.
Wilbur, here's another horse standing. Did you know about this one? You must clean up here, Wilbur.
It's only now that I see there's another horse here, and this place is really very dirty here.
Come, boy, kick. Come. All this stuff lying here is very dangerous. This is an accident to happen. Especially with this out here, the horse can jump over here. As you can see here, watch here. Okay? He can just be hooked here. Try to jump over here and he's going to kill himself.
Jacques and Wilbur decide to give the owner one more chance. They'll leave a second warning, and they'll be back within 24 hours.
The place is not right. It's not healthy. It's dangerous for a horse to live in an area like this. We definitely will take further steps here to either make sure that they get the place right or that we're going to take the horses.
Have you seen someone selling a puppy here?
Inspector Wayne Hector is responding to a report of a man selling puppies at the roadside.
Hello, we didn't see a boy with a puppy.
The first challenge is to find the man.
He was here now, but which side did he go?
Roadside selling needs a permit, and the city doesn't issue permits for selling puppies. Wayne's main concern is the welfare of the animals. He's been searching the area for 45 minutes, but he's not going to give up.
He's saying it's over here somewhere. It's illegal to sell puppies without a permit on the street corners, and also it's not unacceptable conditions to keep a puppy on a corner of a street.
Finally, he spots the man with 4 puppies in a basket.
Ik wil hier voor puppies is hè? Ik wil hier voor puppies is hè? Oké, het is illegal om puppies te verkopen, hè? Het is illegal om puppies te verkopen. Wat ik ga maken, dan 2 opties geven. Als eieren, ik ga niet een woning geven, ik ga die puppies vatten in een woning geven. En als jij krijgt, kan ik geprosecuteerd.
Wayne's worried about the health of the puppies. He wants them to see a vet, so he asks the man to come with him.
I told him it's illegal to sell puppies on the streets and to keep puppies in conditions that is not acceptable. It's intervention of the Animal Protection Act. So in order to, he's coming with me to the SPCA, and we're going to explain it to him there. What is the reasons that we're coming down on him like this? So we're going straight to the hospital and have it checked out.
Puppies need special care, and they need to be vaccinated against disease. The SPCA wants to discourage this sort of indiscriminate breeding and selling.
It's very hot, and these puppies can get very dehydrated very quickly. So he should still be by the mummy. He says that the mummy's at home. Sometimes you'll get fleas on them, so they won't be defleed, and they should be defleed, dewormed, vaccinated. The conditions that they're in is actually not so good, but this one seemed to me very, very tired and got sores all over on him. This one is not in a good condition.
Here in the hospital, the puppies will get all the care they need. The man selling them will get 7 days to claim the pups back, but he'll need to show that he's going to care for them properly. Otherwise, he could face prosecution. There are 93 societies for the prevention of cruelty to animals in South Africa. The Cape of Good Hope SPCA covers 9,000 square miles of the Western Cape, not just the city of Cape Town. Today, Senior Inspector James Murphy has headed out of town to a farm where he's been told the animals are suffering.
What we have here is apparently a farm with some livestock on it. And as the story goes, that we have it's been sold and there is nobody looking after the animals and they're deteriorating. Hi daar meneer. Bly meneer hier zo?
Ja.
Wie is die eind? Huh?
Ik naam Wilson.
Is he Wilson?
Ja.
This man says he's been hired by the owner of the sheep to look after them, but the owner hasn't brought any food for them.
Something's dead. Oh my God. Come on, sunshine. Get up. What's the matter with you? There we go. That one's dead. That one is dead. Apparently the owner's only due back tomorrow. But the sheep have been dying. He's been gone for 3 weeks. He's run out of food. Obviously the grazing is not sufficient. As you can see, these sheep are dying. This is bad. This is not good, is it? At this stage, it looks like we've got 4 so far that are down. So that one here, and then the other 2 down there, basically starving to death. So all these little gravestones here, he's kind of put them around here. He's showing me all the graves where he's buried the sheep in the last 3 weeks. Good 20 odd that's been dying here, and that is a concern as to why they're dying. Hi.
These men live nearby.
Yeah, we've got a concern about some animals that are in distress here, and we've currently found 4 dying sheep.
Okay.
Do you guys know the owner, or you?
We're friends of his. I just phoned him now to ask if he
He's not the owner of the sheep, though.
No, he's not the owner. He has a problem with the owner.
It's a complicated situation. The farmer who owns the sheep is paying to graze them on this land. He lives over 50 miles away. The 2 men have taken in some lambs they were especially concerned about.
You kind of done what you could to help them. Oh my gosh. They don't last very well if you don't have the colostrum. That's the first milk. Now, the colostrum is vitally important for their survival.
Yeah.
If they don't have that, you...
Just remember, these guys were all left out in the field to die by their mothers. So
Yeah.
there were 11, and we've managed to save 7 of them.
Yeah.
We've been here for 3 weeks, raising lambs that we found in the field that were basically left to die. It takes a lot of my time. Sometimes 1 a.m. in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, I've had to come through to make sure the little lamb doesn't die. As far as I know, the farmer rented the land here to feed his flock. About 300 sheep or so, and he's supposed to come here once a week to drop off money and food for them, and sometimes 3 weeks he doesn't come. That's basically the story as far as I know.
Murphy calls the man who is renting out the grazing land to the sheep farmer.
It's James Murphy, Senior Inspector from the SPCA. Yeah, on the farm with your friends here. We've got a concern about the livestock that are dying here. Seeing what I'm seeing here, and this is a serious matter of concern. No, they don't just die. These are dying of starvation or something. There's no food here, apparently. Well, at this stage, I can use Regulation 468 and I can confiscate all these animals. So, and you cannot throw me off the land. We need to just work together here and try and sort this out. Okay. So where's this farmer now? Anybody who's in possession, custody, care, control of the animals is responsible. So anybody currently residing on this farm can be held responsible for these probable acts of cruelty. But we're going to need to get some veterinary advice on the sheep. I'm going to leave a note for the owner to take responsibility and call out a vet and get a diagnosis and make sure these animals are supplied with food. Failing that, we will have to get a court order and seize the sheep.
Inspector Wilbur Kincabe and trainee Inspector Jacques Buis are back in Mitchell's Plain, where a horse is being kept in a garage and a second horse in a backyard surrounded by rubble and scrap. This time, the owner's home. He's not happy about the warning notes that have been left.
I must look after my horses. I've got business to do. I've got the house to see to. I've got a lot of things to do. Now, because of the people in the road, you know, they make such an issue. There's other people that also has horses, but the people in the road doesn't interfere with them.
But you see, the problem why we keep on coming here is because what we need is not rectified.
This is going to be, we are going to clean up here, but we cannot clean up. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. And my main aim is that the horses has feed, they're not underfed, they have the waters, they have everything. But look at this healthy horse. It's a healthy horse. You understand, Wilbur?
Yeah, I do understand, but you see, the SPCA requirements is also the living condition, not only the physical condition that you're talking about. Because now we're up to the point where we're going to have to confiscate the animals, keep it until you rectify everything, yeah.
Okay, I'll see you guys.
We try to educate the people the correct way. They think that if they got a horse, then they can just keep it at the back of the yards. Nothing is wrong with it. But nobody take them by the hand and said, listen, this is the right way to do it. And I strongly believe that we must educate the people. If there's no improvement, we're going to take the horses till there's improvement here. So we're going to give him the choice. Either he is going to correct it himself, or we're going to force him to correct it.
At the hospital, vet George Birch has been looking after the puppies Inspector Wayne Hector brought in.
These puppies were brought in by the inspector. They were found next to the side of the road being sold. What is quite problematic when these dogs are kept next to the side of a road, you know, they actually should be with their mom busy feeding, suckling. Sometimes what happens, they don't get all the, you know, the colostrum in right at first, and then they're obviously more exposed to diseases. Most of these dogs that are getting sold, you know, people are just in it for, you know, to just make some money. So, you know, the animals' well-being is not always, you know, on top of the priority list. Basically, their condition wasn't so good, they were weak. But as you can see now, their condition has improved quite a lot. The animals are quite alert, they actually got a full abdomen, so they're eating like mad. So you can see there's no real discharges there. So look, the gums is quite pink. And yeah, the big thing is usually, you know, the appetite and is the animal alert. You see, this one is so playful. It's just basic treatment that's been given, like dewormer, and also a vaccine has been given very recently. But these puppies have put on quite a lot of weight, and you can see the coat is looking really good. So it's just basic animal care that's been applied here, and the difference has been massive.
The man who was selling the pups decided to sign them over to the SPCA. Soon, they should be able to go to carefully selected new homes. It's late afternoon, and most of the inspectors are back in the office completing their paperwork for the day. Senior Inspector James Murphy has been making some more inquiries about the farm where sheep have been dying trying to get to the bottom of the complex situation.
I've spoken to the farmer, and he's has a concern in that he struggles to bring the food in because the gate is locked and he hasn't got a key and somebody keeps changing the lock and that sort of thing. At this stage, I'm concerned about the sheep and I need to make sure that they get their feed and that sort of thing. He's organising to bring some food up.
Murphy's beginning to lose his patience.
I don't know, we need to kind of come to some agreement because farmers renting the land and, you know, if the one doesn't pay the rent and the other one gets spiteful and that sort of thing. This is what it kind of sounds like, that they're not communicating and the animals are being used in this tug of war. You know, if that's kind of the case, then, yeah, somebody needs to get a slap on the knuckles. It's, you know, it's unacceptable.
A plea for help has come into the SPCA, and trainee inspector Moyo Makar has been dispatched.
I've just received a call that there is a puppy stuck underneath the kennel, and I'm coming to rescue the puppy.
Moyo's come prepared, because it sounds like the mother dog is not going to help the rescue.
So where is she? She's tied. Oh, great.
I think there's 3 still under, and the other 3, she took out the other 3. It's fine.
Okay. Hello, puppy. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right.
The woman says there are 6 puppies, and they keep falling between the slats in the floor of their kennel. She can't get to them because she's afraid of the mother dog.
It's all right. It's all right.
Moyo can't get to the kennel either, until he has restrained their mother.
It's all right, 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 boy. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. There's a space in between the boards, so the puppies would have been falling down through the boards. What I would suggest is putting maybe something like a board. If you could fold it, maybe you fold it and then we put it inside the kennel. Okay. Sorry to make you to work this hard. The pup is 2 days old, and well, the motherly instinct is to be protective. Oh. Okay. All right.
The other puppies have crawled out behind the kennel. From now on, they'll stay safe inside.
It's all right. The cupboard that I put there is just a temporary measure so that the puppies, like there are boards in between the kennel, so the puppies can, the space between the boards, the puppies can fall through. So the cardboard is so that the puppies, they are all level and there's no chance of them falling down underneath the kennel. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. Yeah, generally the puppies, they look quite good. The condition looks all right, and condition of the mother is also quite good. So now she looks quite happy because I think she was concerned also with her puppies being underneath the kennel. Now she can have a good look at all their puppies, and I think she's happy now.
The mother dog's happy, and so is Moyo. He solved the problem, and no one got hurt. When he found sheep sick and dying on a farm outside Cape Town, Senior Inspector James Murphy contacted the tenant of the land and the farmer who owns the sheep and told them that between them, they must ensure the sheep get veterinary care, food and water. Now Chief Inspector Andres Venter has decided to take a look for himself.
Ooh, is that dead or alive? That one is shocking. This is not a farmer.
It's basically starved to death.
Venter's brought Inspector Wayne Hector and Chief Vet Miles Penfold with him.
If you have a look at the eyes over here, they like really pale instead of a nice pink colour, and that's just from basically intestinal parasites that they're draining all the blood out of the body, so they become anemic like this. And these are basically starved. So this could just be prevented by regular deworming and proper nutrition. But at this stage, for an animal to get like this is horrific.
You've got pictures here, hey, Wayne? Can you bring me the captive bolt, please?
You can't get an animal back from this in this stage. We'll just put them down. There's nothing that I can do to rectify this. Okay. When we captive bolt them, it's a humane way of putting them down. Instead of having a free projectile like a bullet destroying the brain, you've got a bolt which is going out about that far, which just instantaneously renders the animal totally unconscious of anything going on with it. And we then just slit the throat so that we can bleed out the carcass. So it's a very humane way of putting them down, very quick, very clean.
Outside, the situation's no better.
There's dead ones. At all the shady spots, there seems to be dead ones. Top of each other, next to each other with little lambs.
It looks like this one's just died in the space of time that we've been here. You can see it's corny, so they're still a little bit moist, so it's probably only passed away in the last an hour or two at the most. If you have a look on the eyes here as well, just totally white. So again, parasites just basically drain them of their blood into the gut, and when you get to a critical loss of blood, you die. And this is partly what's happened here.
I've spoken to the state vets and I've spoken to the people that reside or care on the property, and it is my understanding that the owner of the sheep has very little interest in the animal's welfare at the moment. Either he can't afford it or he doesn't care. As a result, they've deteriorated, they've picked up mange, hence the reason the farm's been placed under quarantine, and they're also apparently riddled with worms.
This is straight neglect. There's actually no excuse for it. If you have animals, you must learn how to care for them, and a very simple, basic animal care or herd health plan would have prevented all of this.
We're going to try and ascertain what the full circumstances are, why is not giving the attention that's supposed to be given. But in terms of the Animals Protection Act, I am planning on lodging a case against him for cruelty, for neglect, and I'll let the courts decide on what will happen with the remaining sheep.
Murphy, meanwhile, has been dispatched on a rescue mission. A dog's trapped underneath a car, and Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua's having no luck getting him out.
We have a dog that's head's allegedly stuck between the wheel and the axle.
Oh,
right.
We got a growler. Okay. He's growling. We're going to get a leash, and then we can try and hook his head and secure him at least.
This morning, as I was pulling my car out of the driveway, when I went back to close the gates, I saw this dog roaming around at the back. So I ran around the other side to chase him out so that he could go out. And he came out, but he didn't come further than the car. When I looked for him, I saw him under the car. And I tried to shoo him out of the car, and he wouldn't budge.
He's obviously a little distressed or something. What we need to try and do is secure his head, if we can get this lead over. Is it possible to turn the steering wheel or what? Dear, I can't see where he's actually stuck in here. He's just... Hey, come on, big boy. Okay. Just try and get the leash over his neck so that we can... Okay, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. Okay, you got it? Okay, pull it.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. I think he's just sitting here. So we just need to basically pull him out slowly. Come on, dog. I don't think he's stuck. He's just crawled himself into here, into the wheel well, and it's, yeah, he's just scared of maybe. It's possible he got bumped by a car or something and kind of just crawled in here. Okay, turn.
Turn.
Okay. Come down. Let's lie down. Go, put your head down. There you go. There we go.
Hey, puppy.
Goodness me, you're full of grease. Cool. Is that?
The dog's shocked and frightened, but appears unharmed.
There we go. He's a little scared. Shame, man.
I've never actually seen him. There are quite a few dogs that run around stray here in the area, but this one I've never really seen before.
Bucky, bit thin. You can feel his ribs, and he's just very scared. Probably a neighborhood dog. I think he kind of ran in there because he was scared of something and tried to hide and got himself stuck, and he just didn't want to come out of there, you know. We'll take him back to the hospital, and the vets just have a look at him, feed him up, and put him on the lost and found, and see whether anybody claims him. Failing that, and we'll put him up for adoption. I'm sure he would make a good companion for somebody.
At the SPCA, Inspector Wilbur Kenkebi and trainee Inspector Jacques Buis have been debating what to do about the horse being kept in a garage and the other horse in the backyard. They've decided to discuss it with stable master Tex Davey, who knows the owner well.
Over the past 2 years, he's been a problem, this fella. And it's the same story. We've always given him the benefit of the doubt, and but I can see the same pattern here. And on occasions, he's had no horses, and then he'll pop up again 3 months down the line, and he's got 6, 7 horses, and there's a complaint. I think myself he's a bit of a horse dealer. That's the reason why he's got the horses. Yeah, I think enough is enough. We've given him enough time and enough chances, and he's giving us the runaround.
Wilbur and Jacques are going to visit the man again. They've already obtained a court order authorizing them to seize the horses. So if there's still been no improvement, this time they'll be ready to act immediately.
Still the same. The situation is still the same. It is still kept here in this small garage stable, and there's no bedding here still. There's still no bedding. So I'm gonna confiscate the horse now. I'm gonna load the big one first, and then take the small one.
The horse is still in the garage, and nothing is done about it. I mean, we passed the education stage now. It's now time for him to learn the hard way. He knows what is expected from him. We try to help him. He must build a new stable. Yeah, it's too small. It's not big enough. This place here is anyway not suitable for a horse. Box nicely. Hey, that's good. Between all the laundry, a window that is open where the horse can get hurt. So yeah, not before this is finalized and fixed. He's not going to get his horse back.
The man will have to act quickly. Legislation says he has to cover the cost to the SPCA of caring for his horses. He could be facing a hefty bill.
It's not a thing of giving him another home. He had to pay the boarding, and if there's any medication that the horses must get, he's going to pay for the vet's account as well. I mean, everything costs money. The horse is not going to get free stabling or free boarding for him to satisfy.
James Murphy and Kira Joshua have returned to Grassy Park with the dog that was trapped under a car. Vet George Birch will take a look at him.
Easy. Oh, my head is like crawled into a corner there.
Oh, puppy, come, baby.
I think he's just one of those kind of very frightened dogs. It would take a bit of kind of working with him and to get his confidence and come out to people. Now you have grease all over you. You greasy dog, you. Come on, let's go. Let's go this way.
some good feel at the lymph nodes and the body condition, which is obviously not that good. This dog is very nervous. But as you can see, the body condition of this dog is extremely poor. There's no mass. This coat is actually quite deceptive because if you feel underneath it, there's nothing. It's just bones here, all over the place. You know, if you get a dog like this, they come from a home or area where, you know, animal husbandry is not really that high on the priority list, and most of the times these animals actually get, you know, quite beaten and neglected really badly. So they, you know, don't around people, especially now strange people, they're especially scared. But usually after they pass on through the hospital to the kennels, they seem to lighten up a little bit once they see that, you know, we're not out to hurt them or anything. I think for this dog, all we need is really some deworming and some good food.
If no one has come to claim the dog within 7 days, they'll begin the process of preparing him for adoption. Now Wilbur and Jacques are back with the 2 horses they seized in Mitchell's Plain. The horses soon show their appreciation of the space to move around in safely.
Yeah, that's lekker, huh? Ooh, that's lekker.
Yeah, this is a better environment for him. He got space here, as you can see. The moment he enters here, he wants to roll. That's part of his nature. There, you haven't got the space, as you could see there. Between the laundry and all the rubble there, he will enjoy it, yeah.
This is something they do naturally, which he hasn't been able to do. Because like dogs, they like to roll, you know. He's in good condition. His condition isn't bad. We won't release the animals back to the conditions that we've just taken them from. He will have to come out with an ulterior arrangement, build a stable, a proper stable, with the correct space and so on. And those are the only conditions we will release his animals. What he has in his favour is, as I say, their condition is very good. They are looked after. I'm looking at the feet have been cared for. The problem we have here, because his horses are cared for to a point, he thinks everything is okay. So he's overlooking the fact that they're not being housed or stabled correctly. And it keeps going on. It's the same long playing record. You know what I mean? He thinks everything is fine.
They hope the owner will get the message now and give his horses a proper home. If not, court action could follow, and the likely outcome is that he won't be getting these horses back. It didn't take long for the puppies that Inspector Wayne Hector rescued to be adopted. They stayed at the SPCA until they'd had all their vaccinations, were free of worms and declared healthy. Just in time for Esther Krieger and her daughter Stacey to pick one of them out to take home.
The adoption procedure was amazing. We went there the one day and they let us walk around and see who we wanted. And once we'd picked her, we went back for 2 days just to visit her. And they were amazing. They really were. They were very efficient and very professional and wonderful. What happened is my eldest daughter left for America. So we decided we needed a replacement. And we thought we would go to the SPCA and just see, because to me it makes sense to try and adopt. And I wish I had done it before with my other pets, because it's very rewarding, and it's, you know, the idea that we've given her a home. We've had her for now going on 3 weeks.
She was a bit quiet at first when we first got her, but then after about a day or so, she got a lot more at home and was okay after that.
She's very comfortable. She knows the house. She walks up and down stairs. She's happy, healthy, and a little bit naughty sometimes. She loves to chew.
She chews through wires a lot.
Yes. The upstairs telephone wouldn't work today, and I realized why.
And her brothers and sister have settled in just as well to their new homes too. No one came to claim the dog that senior inspectors James Murphy and Kira Joshua rescued from underneath a car. But the SPCA hasn't been able to find him a new home yet, due to an unexpected setback.
This guy came in about 2 weeks ago, came in clinically sound, and he went over to kennels when he's been boarding. I saw him about 4 days ago, and he must have arrived incubating tick bite fever because his gums were really pale, and we did a blood smear on him and found that he was now showing signs of tick bite fever, lots of parasites in the blood. So we treated him and gave him a whole lot of supportive treatments, gave him some injections just to block the inflammatory process in the body, and then blood transfusion, and almost immediately he was feeling 100%. So from, you know, looking just a little bit down, having come in with tick bite fever, you know, within 4 hours after a blood transfusion, he was up again and eating, and we should hopefully see him picking up some condition with some feeding in the next couple of weeks.
Thankfully, the problem was spotted quickly, and he should soon be ready to begin the adoption process again.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold him for maybe another day or so. All I'm doing at the moment is I'm just tapering off the last of our medical dosages, but pretty much we're going to be sending him back to kennels to just get some weight up on him again. And yeah, you can see he's feeling happy with life here. So yeah, probably another 2 or 3 days we'll send him back to kennels, maybe even tomorrow. But yeah, he's looking fantastic.
It's been 3 weeks since the farm where sheep were dying was placed under a quarantine order, and the SPCA took charge of the sheep. The surviving sheep have been getting veterinary care, and they're already looking much healthier. Senior Inspector James Murphy's been paying regular visits.
Well, we're back here on the farm with the dying sheep. Just as an extra bit of roughage for the sheep, I've brought some of this ote so that we can improve the sheep's condition. Now we've taken responsibility for the sheep, so we need to just make sure that they get provided for. The vet is going to be doing their third treatment on the sheep. They have a contagious sheep mange, and so the farmers are under quarantine, so none of the sheep can be moved. And they're apparently looking better, and none of them have subsequently died. Owner of the sheep was here, but at this stage we've kind of escorted the sheep and put them into the custody of their end owner, and we are pressing charges against the owner of the sheep for cruelty to animals.
The neighbours had taken in 11 lambs. Now there are just 3.
Who wants munchies? Come on.
The lambs that have survived, there's 3 of them, are looking pretty good. So yeah, hopefully their progress, they will continue to grow up and be happy sheep.
Oh, who wants the bottle?
One of the neighbours, Shannon Ogilvie, has made it her personal mission to ensure no harm comes to these 3 lambs.
They came from bad stock, basically. Their parents weren't inoculated. They didn't have any antigens in them. So when they came into the world, they didn't really have a chance, you know. And that's why it's been so hard to keep them alive, and no one could pinpoint what the actual problem was. But it's been touch and go, basically. Yeah. I mean, we had to get the food formula right and weaning them off the milk and then giving them actual hard substance to eat hasn't been easy. We take them home sometimes. And then I stay up all night because this little lamb is by my bed going, meh. You know? And the only way to calm it down is to actually cuddle up to it. And, you know, like I've got this way of sleeping that I don't move throughout the whole night.
With protection against disease and a good supply of food, the sheep are finally getting the care they should have had all along. The owner of the sheep will have to explain to a court why he didn't look after his animals like this.
He's gonna kill himself.
Almost 2 months ago, trainee Inspector Jacques Buis and Inspector Wilbur Kenkebi found 2 horses living in unhealthy conditions, one in a yard, one in a garage.
I must look after my horses. I've got business to do. I've got the house to see to. I've got a lot of things to do.
After the owner failed to make any improvements, both horses were taken into the care of the SPCA.
It's now time for him to learn the hard way.
2 The owner had 7 days to claim his horses back, but he needed to provide a proper home for them or face charges. He didn't make the improvements and he didn't claim the horses. Now Jacques has found a new owner for the horse from the garage.
Okay.
Carolyn Gilmer will take care of him on her farm in the hills near Wynberg.
Hey, boy. Okay, I'm going to put him in the paddock next door, yeah? It's your new home. He has a room with a view. Those two are boyfriend and girlfriend, so he's jealous. Rescuing horses is my life. I find that there's nothing more rewarding to me than taking a horse that's had been abused or starved and bringing it here and rehabilitating it. Luckily, I have a very nice husband that supports me financially, and I go home with nothing at the end of the day, but I'm very happy just spending all my time and effort and love giving to horses. They've got to find out in a natural herd who is the more domineering of the horses. And in this way, they are socializing and getting to know who's going to back down or not. Unfortunately, the Palomino horse is very jealous because this is his girlfriend, so Beach Boy is a threat to him. I'll let Beach Boy settle in now that he's just arrived. Definitely give him a lot more food and try and fatten him up and give him as much love as possible and take him on gentle hacks. That's what he will be doing for the rest of his life.
Very delightful to see what is going on here. The horse is settled in very well, and you can see it by the way that it trotted here and looked at the place and see for himself what is going on. You can see he's tried to reach the other horses as well and to find his way here. It's good to see that the natural signs is coming out.
SPCA Chief Inspector Andries Venter has assembled a hand-picked team of inspectors for a confidential briefing.
He's got drugs in his house, he's treating animals, and he's got animals that had died on his property as a result of wrong treatment.
Venter's received a tip-off that a man is prescribing drugs and performing surgery on animals. The man's not a qualified vet and has only worked as an animal welfare assistant.
I don't know what we're going to find. I don't know how many animals we're going to find, but we're concentrating on the drugs first this time.
Venter intends to act quickly. They'll raid the property this morning, and he's asked the police to help them.
I don't know if he's got guns on the property. I will speak to the police that they at least give us one person per team. I've got bulletproof vests. Please watch each other's back. We have been getting trickle information from time to time that he is operating illegally. So hopefully we can put a stop to it for once and for all. We don't know who the suspect is linked to or what his operation entails. So we're taking all the necessary precautions to ensure that we're not placed in any danger. Just want to find the property. There it is. So guys, we're moving in.
The property's out on the very edge of Cape Town, down a dirt track and well away from prying eyes.
I need the police to come past me quickly. Hello? Is they dark? Okay. He is apparently in. You can go straight in. I play his song. We're just moving in with a warrant. Just stand by.
The man's home. Venter and the police officers move in.
Juliet and Kira, drive in. Excuse?
Yeah. They begin to search the house for drugs, for animals, for any evidence of illegal activity. It's not long before Venter makes his first discovery.
Quite a bit of inoculations, rabies inoculations.
Outside, Senior Inspectors James Murphy and Barbara McLucky are combing through the fire pit. The informant had told Fenter that animals had died during surgery and their bodies were burnt.
There is like lots of bones here, but nothing, they all look big, so I presume it's just the cattle bones that they buy for the dogs to chew.
In amongst the ashen bones, Murphy finds more evidence of suspected illegal drugs.
So far found 3 bottles, there's another one.
Where's
right
that
there.
bottle?
These are bottles that...
Could be vaccine.
Vaccine bottles or some sort of drug is in here.
And there are more drugs in the bathroom.
We found surgical spirits, a Sandoz diclofenac, which is a scheduled medicine. He claims that he's getting it from his girlfriend, and it looks like his girlfriend may be working for a children's hospital or hospice some sort.
We're just busy checking all the anything fridge and freezers and that, just to see if we can find any meds or anything suspicious.
Hey. Find this wheelbarrow. It's a dog that they've got in a wheelbarrow. It looks like they're prepping it for surgery.
You can take a diary.
Your diary. We found his appointment diaries, so we'll go through that to see what he's been up to.
It's a serious issue because the guy is treating animals and he's not authorized as per law to do it. I mean, I've vet studies for many years to be able to do that, and if every Tom, Dick and Harry can just pull out a scalpel and a forceps and just operate on animals, you know, there'll be a lot more suffering.
We've had dogs dying. We've had dogs coming into our vets that have had bad reactions to the treatments that he's given. So he's perpetuated the suffering and the cruelty to those animals.
I'm quite horrified that there's all these bones lying around, there's flies everywhere, there's poo everywhere. Yeah, just the general conditions, yeah. If we hadn't come now, we probably would have been a lot more suffering.
Now, hidden under a table, Fenter seems to have found the man's main store.
We've discovered a box of tricks that contains all kinds of drugs. 4A65.
These drugs aren't available over the counter. They're only supposed to be used by qualified vets. Some are out of date, and the man will have to explain how he came to have them and whether they were stolen.
The equipment in this box could be used for any sort of surgery.
Surgery is also no job for amateurs. Fenter and the police inspector have seen enough.
You are under arrest. Yeah.
The man will be spending time in jail before his case is heard. The inspectors have to make sure his animals will be safe while he's away.
Until a decision's made on what's going to happen with the gentleman, we have to take the animals into our custody to ensure that they're fed and watered. We've got pigeons, and there's runners there, and there's chickens, and there's dogs, and there's horses as well. This is like unhygienic conditions that the animals have been kept in. There's like feces all over the show. It's like piled up and it's probably like just hard.
The inspectors and the police have been searching the property for 3 hours to ensure they've found every piece of evidence.
There's a dog's skull there. Weird stuff went on here. It might take some time to uncover more. He claims that he's helping other people that the animal welfare organizations are not helping. He's well aware of where our mobile clinics are operating. We're operating right through Cape Town, not only ourselves, AnimalRescue organisation, Animal Welfare Society. So there's no excuse for him to use that.
The searches have thrown up other possible leads.
We found details and information of guys involved in other illegal veterinary operations as well as pit bull fighting and organising. This is tireless work. I don't know if we're ever going to find the end tale of the story.
Senior Inspector Kira Joshua has received a disturbing report. She's been told a dog is dying in a backyard in Ocean View. Kira's brought trainee inspector Adiba Renze with her.
Hello? It doesn't seem like the people's home now. So I'm just going to see if the neighbors know where they are. Right. We've got a complaint about this, the people next door here. But a dog that's dying and a dog that's tied up. Do you know anything about it?
Well, the dogs is here in the yard.
Okay. Thanks, ma'am.
At the back of the house, a black dog is crouched in the shade, alive but barely conscious.
So I got a dog that seems very thin. It's very down.
Next to it, in the kennel, is a large Burble, a South African breed related to the Mastiff.
I'd also be barking if I lived in a place like this. This is way too small. It's not been cleared, unhygienic conditions. So, but this guy we need to take in now.
Kira's shocked by what she's seen here.
And the dog's really bad. That should have been taken to a vet a long time ago. So we're going to take the dog now to the vet to have a check done, see what we can do for it, and confiscate the other dog as well. I'm not a vet, but I can definitely see that there is something wrong with the dog. I don't see any discharge or anything, but it has the shakes basically. His nose is dry. The gums are weak, so I mean you can just speculate really on what is wrong with the dog. Okay, come boy, come here, come here. Here we go. That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
The Burble seems friendly.
No, I mean, it's a definite case of animal cruelty. I mean, the one is pretty thin and very weak, and then the other ones live in unhygienic conditions. That's not like a day's feces. I mean, you can see the dog's in good nick and everything, but still, doesn't mean because the dog's in good nick, it needs to stay in, like, such hardy conditions.
Both dogs will go back to the SPCA, and the black dog needs to get there quickly.
Would you let them know that I put this in the warning, in the warning in the post box? Okay? Thanks. Okay, we have to rush back to the hospital now because the dog needs veterinary treatment immediately, so we're gonna have to rush off now.
At the hospital, Kira carries the black dog through to see vet Miles Penfold.
Okay, the dog that we're dealing with here, if you look at it, it's got like a light yellow tinge on the actual ears and a light yellow tinge on the gums. Most of what we see that causes this here is tick bite fever. When a dog gets to this place, his heart is slowing down, there's hardly any pulse. This dog is almost dead. There's actually nothing that I'm going to be able to do to pull this dog right. Another couple of hours it would have passed on. So it's already in severe shock, and pretty much I'm going to put this dog down under the Animal Protection Act.
Tick bite fever needs prompt treatment. When it has taken hold like this, humane euthanasia is the kindest option.
So this here is absolute denial of treatment. I would not hesitate to prosecute. Let me just give confirmation on that, because then you have a rock solid case.
It is a difficult part of the job. I mean, especially when you have people that they have animals, but they just don't care. They just don't care about it. There's more to it than just having a dog. There's more to it than just having a dog there to bark. You know, so. Yeah.
Kira will wait for tests to confirm what was wrong with the black dog. If it was tick bite fever, she'll want to know from the owners why it didn't get the treatment that could have saved its life. Adib brings the Burble to see Miles. Thankfully, it's a different story with this one.
Well, this guy's 100% better than the other dog. In fact, it's hard to think that they come out of the same yards. This guy's well looked after. He's definitely not malnourished. Looks like we might potentially have a lip granuloma there, but it can also just be that he's been lying on, or his bedding's been on a hard place, and that he has a habit of lying like this. That we'll only see with time. My guys will observe him if we see him licking, or it's a lip granuloma. If not, it's just a bit of a, like on the back here, you can see it's if they lie on cement and stuff, then they get like little hard areas, and that's normally just from where they lie. They go out, they lie next to the wall on the cement, and then the skin gets a bit thickened. His heart and lungs and everything is fine. His teeth and everything have been absolutely great. So yeah, I mean, this guy is 100%. Very happy with him, and definitely not at all like the last one.
The dog's healthy, but Kira will want to talk to the owners about his living conditions. They have a lot of explaining to do.
Kira, come in.
Senior Inspector James Murphy's on a rescue mission in the Parkwood district of Cape Town. A cat's fallen down the gap between two walls and it can't get out.
Is the cat in here?
Just show you.
Okay, so he's between that part and the other part.
The cat's been stuck for over 10 hours. It's likely to be traumatized, hungry and dehydrated.
There you are. We've got a cat down here that's somehow got himself stuck.
It's my daughter's cat, and she was attacked last night by a dog, and she ran for her life. So she was stuck there since last night, 12 o'clock, until this morning.
I think we can get him out, but he can't go that way.
And we actually tried to get him out, but in vain, so we called the SPCA.
I suspect it dropped from the top down. That's the only way I can think of it, because of the vibrocrete slats, they blocking the cat behind it, so it couldn't have come from that way. So I'm thinking up is the only way out. I want to use the cat's pole to hook the cat. My idea is to slide the pole down and hook it and pull the thing and then pull the cat up. It's not nice to hook a cat like this, but it's the only way to get it out. Yep, we got him. Come on, cat, just a little further up. Just a little further up. Okay. Oh, my head. Okay, we're a little fill. Sorry, cat. Oh, kitty. I'm glad I got him so soon, because he's being the confined space. You can't get the rope around the neck so easily.
Murphy wants to get the cat examined by the SPCA vets before she goes back to her owner, just in case she's been hurt by the dogs that chased her or by her fall.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the cat in, we have it checked out, and then they can call you and you can come collect it.
No problem.
Okay. But the cat looks fine. I think it's best just to check it out, just in case it's got some bite wounds. It might be internal injuries and things like that you can't see. Okay, let's go and take it in and see the vet.
Back at the SPCA, vet George Birch can take a look at the cat.
She suspects the dog's bit the cat, which is a little concerned that it might have some internal injuries or something. There's nothing obvious on the outside.
So this happened last night?
Apparently like midnight or something, they heard this ruckus, and it's possible it just kind of went along the wall and fell down. And
let's see. Put it down. Just see if it's using all four of its legs. I can see it's using all four legs well.
Yeah.
And it's quite alert and mobile. And I'm just going to check the spine if there's any pain. Well, basically, I'm just feeling all over just to see this, or basically feel if there's any external injuries. If the animal is bitten by a dog, say for instance, what can happen, you don't necessarily get breaks in the skin, but you can get internal injuries. The cat's slightly dehydrated, the color is good, it's quite alert. I can't find any external injuries, so this bodes very well for the kitten. Otherwise, for this animal, basically we deworm anyway, and then sterilize it and send it home.
It looks like the cat has had a lucky escape. She'll be home before the end of the day.
Drive in, drive in. We're just moving in with a warrant.
Yesterday, Chief Inspector Andries Venter led a raid on the home of a man they suspected of operating as a vet, even though he was unqualified.
4A65, Sandoz diclofenac, rabies inoculations.
When they found quantities of illicit veterinary drugs, the man was arrested and charged.
Weird stuff went on here. It may take some time to uncover more.
Today he's been in court.
He was given a bail of 500 rand and conditions was set that he's not allowed to come near or interfere with any of the animal welfare mobile clinics or organizations. And a further condition was set that he's not allowed to be in control of or own any animal until the investigation is finalized. The trial has been postponed for the next 6 weeks, when the full investigation hopefully will be presented to the prosecutor and court.
A lengthy investigation seems to be finally nearing its conclusion.
I feel very, very relieved in the way the investigation is going. I'm very happy with how it's panning out.
The court has ordered that the accused man can have no contact with animals until his case has been heard. So the SPCA inspectors are back at his property.
Let's do one animal type at a time so we don't have a mess.
We'll get you. What makes it much easier is because it's in an enclosed area. And we have a net. Can you nab him? Yes. Well done.
You got that on camera. I'm a male, I catch chicks.
The animals are going to the SPCA now, where we're going to have them checked out by the vets, make sure if any of them are sick that they're going to be treated, make sure that they get some nice food and water and stay in some nice clean environment.
It's the end of the afternoon, and Inspector Wilbur Kenkebi is on his way back to base when an urgent call comes over his radio about 2 horses in trouble. When Wilbur arrives, he's taken to see the dead horse.
He said he was just running around and he just fall off and died. They don't know what he died from.
They say something seemed to send both horses crazy, and the one collapsed whilst the other has badly damaged its eye.
They said this horse is also just go mad and run around and he hit itself there on this eye. And there's another wound here on his nose. I just asked them why they're not taking it in. They said they're waiting for the horse box.
The owners say they are going to take the horse to a horse specialist. Wilbur believes them, but just to make sure, he issues a warning notice.
I'm gonna give you a warning note now. I'll just give you 12 hours, but you must try to rush, because that blood is gonna dry and it's gonna make it, it's not gonna be open, it's gonna be having infection.
The horse needs treatment as soon as possible. The woman is waiting for her husband to bring the horse box, and she promises they'll take it to a vet. Wilbur will be back in the morning to make sure she's kept her promise. Inspector Wayne Hector has been helping Chief Inspector Venter gather evidence in the case of the man who was offering vet treatment despite being unqualified. Wayne has found witnesses who had their puppy's tail docked by the man. He's brought the pup in for vet George Birch to take a look at.
So just have a general look at the puppy. You can see it's quite a happy puppy. At this stage, it's not in pain. You can see this one is really quite playful. Okay. This is probably just the docking that was done. No anesthetic, no sutures. The big problem is, well, the whole tail is basically connected to the spinal cord. So if you were to chop this open, leave it open like that whole spinal cord and spinal column there is theoretically exposed to the outside wall. You can get infection, you can get ascending infections in here. I haven't seen it yet, but it is a theoretical complication which can probably be quite severe. I think what we need to do is just clean up the tail and start just with some antibiotics just as a safety measure. So, but this thing where owners or backyard veterinarians does work like this, it's I would say very, very unethical.
The South African Veterinary Council considers tail docking to be unethical, even if carried out by a vet.
Okay, this has been brought in as evidence that can link us to the suspect, where with the lady, the owner of this puppy, also confessed to me that she saw it happening, and she's willing to put together a statement or affidavit signed by the police that can also link it to the case where the subject we apprehended, and to prove that he's done it and she saw him do it, and we're hoping to get a nice prosecution for this.
There's been an unexpected development in the case of the horse with the badly damaged eye. The owners have said their horse specialist advised them to take the animal to the SPCA. So now Inspector Wilbur Kenkebi is bringing it in. Vet George Birch takes a look at the injured eye with stable master Tex Davey.
Does it look like a bang? Yeah, it does.
But it's got like a bang, on the rim here and on the side, so it probably some knock there. So.
The eyelid is too swollen for George to see how much harm has been done to the eye itself. If the cornea or lens has been cut, the eye could have to be removed.
See on the bone here and just to the side there's some skin missing there or some superficial abrasion. So that's probably just some kind of knock, and what you see happening there is the conjunctiva, the inner tissue of the upper eyelid is just protruding there, and that's just swelling, probably due to this trauma. So what we need to do is get the swelling down. Once we get the swelling down, we can just have a look at the rest of the eye there, see if there's any other damage.
I think what's probably happened is he's gone down and he's banged his head against something. He's been lodged somewhere, possibly in a corner or something. The reason why I'm saying that is looking at the injury to the eye. That's obviously a bang. Okay, there's no sharp object, so to speak. And this here shows me that he's been on especially here. He's been lying in this position, he's been thrashing. And obviously this is where he's done damage to the eye. That's what I'm assuming. I'm not 100% sure. It's quite traumatic for him. Once the swelling comes down, we'll be able to see a lot more.
It will take several hours for the inflammation to go down. Only then will they know whether the eye can be saved. The cat that was trapped between two walls before Senior Inspector James Murphy rescued her has been at home for 2 weeks now, fully recovered, and none the worse for her ordeal, much to the relief of her owners.
When the accident happened, the children actually started to cry when they saw that there was no way that we can get the cat out. So I was very, very worried, and they were also very worried. When I saw James taking the cat out, I was very relieved, and I could see the children was also relieved, because when I looked into Snowy's eyes, I could see she was very tired, and I actually thought she was dying. So I was very relieved when the cat was rescued. When she came back, she was very nervous, and she hid herself under the bed, and she ran for strange noises. If she heard dogs barking, then I just see she ran in suddenly. She's better now. She's very playful and she's her old self. She's just a playful, happy cat. She loves to run around and chase the children around, and she's just happy now. She is very special to me and to the children because she has a soft spot in our hearts.
There are 93 SPCAs in South Africa, with rigorous national standards for the training of their inspectors. Trainee Inspector Moyo Makar has been at the Cape of Good Hope SPCA for 6 months now.
I've always been passionate about animals. It's just a conviction in me that in order for one to have an animal, you should have the time, the space, and the resources to look after the animal. So I've seen some horrific instances. You wouldn't believe that a human being can do such a thing to an animal. It's a bit shocking, and it's the stuff that makes you sick. And also it's a motivation for you, if you're working with animals, just to stamp out all the cruelty that might be going on.
Today, Moyo's received a plea for help.
We've received a call from a lady. She's worried. She says one of her dogs has just died, and she needs us to come and have a look at the other dogs because the other one is now lying, it's not eating, and it's breathing heavily. So it's the case that we're attending to. It seems a bit of an urgent attention is required. Hello?
The owner is an elderly woman, struggling to care for her dogs.
So what is this on his back? It's oil.
People say that thing can help.
Oil. That's car oil. Okay.
Motor oil is a common home remedy for ticks, but it can do more harm than good.
Are you able to treat the dog?
I like them.
You like them?
I like
okay.
dogs.
And where do your dogs live?
They just sleep. They go all over. They eat everything from other places.
Are you able to make a kennel for your dog?
Yes.
So that when it's raining, because as it is right now.
Sometimes they come inside the house. Sometimes.
No, but when you're not there in the house, where are the dogs going to sleep when it's raining?
Sometimes they sleep.
But that's a bit dangerous for them because I can see some nails here. So when
It becomes apparent to Moyo that not only can the woman not afford healthcare for the dogs, she's struggling to feed them.
Now I'm a pensioner. I used to buy food once a month.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I've got money, sometimes my mom next to give me something. Like once there's funeral, there's bones.
Yeah. They need proper care, and you need to buy proper food for them. You might have the love to keep the dogs, but if your resources can't afford you to keep the dogs, it's unfair actually on the part of the dogs. But then the best thing would be for you to surrender the dogs to us, and then we look for homes for them. There are people who can look after them. Okay. I'm not saying that you can't.
No.
But you want to, but you can't.
It's hard for me.
It's hard for you, yes. Yeah, but they need proper food. They need dog food. Well, I believe that, to own a dog, it's not a right, but it's a privilege. You might have the love, but if you don't have the resources, I think it's cruel for the dogs. Because she's saying that if there is a funeral, then she's going to get the scraps. But funerals don't occur every day, and dogs can't rely on scraps. It's all right, buddy. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right, baby. It's all right. I'll take them to the SPCA and, and look for hopes for them.
Now, Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua has an emergency on her hands.
We got a call about a small antelope species that's been knocked down out in Boertese. So from what we got from the report now, it's bleeding quite profusely as well. So we need to try and capture it to take it in to have it treated. We're not quite sure how severe the injury is. What we are going to have to be wary about now as well is that because it's in a residential area, if it does give chase, it might go into the road and just get knocked over all over again.
The antelope, a daker, has taken refuge in the driveway of a house. Kira's brought Inspector Wayne Hector with her.
So we just need to set things up here quickly because he's standing up and he was lying down before. We don't want to get him to start running again because if he starts running, it's going to prove very difficult in trying to get him again. And stress is the biggest thing that is going to kill. So we need to try and do this, obviously, Unfortunately, the dogs, because it's in a residential, is causing a big noise. And we need, the most important thing right now is not to stress this animal out. So, and we have to do everything quite quietly and that, so, yeah.
The local security guard was the one who first spotted the daycare and called the SPCA.
The ideal situation is getting him into the box. So we need to approach from that side, hopefully goes this side, but we need to corner off that area. Okay.
The animals heard Kira. And he has his own plan.
Meneer, het jy 'n bokkie nie so gesien nou?
Ja, ek het gesien daai een.
From which side did he come now?
In the shopping center. Shopping center.
The Dakers made a dash for the local shopping centre.
He was in a shop. Got it. Whoa. Oh, brilliant.
The security guard has got there first and holds the Dakers still.
In my toolbox, right, there's socks, black socks. I just need to tie it around his eyes. Okay.
The blindfold will help keep the animal calm so that they can take him to the SPCA as quickly as possible.
Watch his horns, watch his legs. You have to guide him in gently over here. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Okay, got his legs. I got his legs. It's okay. There was a lot of blood, so we can only really check it out properly when we get back to the SPCA now.
Kira wants to get the daycare examined by a vet. George Birch has been standing by.
What we'll try to do is just handle it as gingerly as possible and just try to control the legs, prevent the legs from kicking against any sides or anything like that.
On 3, 1, 2, 3.
The animal was obviously quite strong still. The colour appeared okay. The breathing was a bit slow, but I was quite happy there was no fluid in the lungs that one can hear. The only things that I did find was that obviously all the pads underneath the hooves, all the superficial horn or the superficial padding was lost there. But we did put some spray on there, which does have some antibacterial properties and which will help quite a lot. I couldn't feel any broken bones and it walked quite well at the end there, so we gave it anti-inflammatory and antibiotic. So I think those wounds will probably heal fine in nature. I think the best thing now for the animal probably is just not to be stressed.
A sedative has been administered, so Kira can't take the daycare straight out to the wild. If he's still groggy, he'll be vulnerable to another accident or to attack by a predator. Meanwhile, Miles Penfold is taking a look at one of the dogs that trainee inspector Moya McCarr persuaded the elderly woman to sign over.
This is definitely a dog that has been looked after at home, and you can definitely pick up a bit of mass over the back here, but pretty typical for a dog that's coming out of the area he's come out of. Just be having a look at the gums and checking capillary refill time. His teeth are really great. That's all looking quite okay. That's great. If we have a look on the back here, you can see that they've applied oil over the skin here. It's a bit of a home remedy that a lot of the people believe if you put used car oil over the coat, it's going to stop the ticks and fleas getting getting onto the dog. Fortunately, very little on this guy here, and it hasn't irritated the skin or anything, so it'll really be a case of just shampooing off the rest of this, and his coat will get back to normal from there. But certainly not something that we'd ever advocate, but yeah, we do see quite a few people tend to think that car oil will cure almost anything. Clinically, this dog is really great. The only sort of downside to him is that he is quite a nervous dog, and we'll send him over to kennels, and the behaviouralist will be able to assess his sort of social skills from there.
It might take some work to prepare this dog for a new home, but the adoptions department will give him the time and attention he needs. It's been 6 weeks since the man alleged to have been carrying out illegal veterinary work was arrested and charged. He's back in court today, and Chief Inspector Andries Venter is feeling optimistic.
I'm confident that we have a case, and I'm confident that the evidence will speak for itself once it's properly followed up by the police.
Unfortunately, Venter's confidence seems to have been misplaced, for today at least. The case has been postponed again because the prosecutors and investigating police officers didn't have all the papers prepared.
It was very frustrating in court this morning. They're not sure under which act the charges would actually fall. And the investigation has not been completed at all. So, yeah, it's been remanded for a final appearance where we will then hopefully have consulted with the investigating officer and everyone involved, and the evidence would have been presented.
It looks like Andries will have to wait a while longer for the result he'd been hoping for.
Spit it down.
It's been more than 2 months since Senior Inspector Kira Joshua found a black dog close to death in Ocean View, next to the cramped and dirty kennel of a large burble.
His weight is small.
The owners contacted the SPCA and said the black dog was a stray that had wandered into their yard, and the neighbours confirmed this story. But the owners admitted they weren't caring for the burble properly, and they surrendered him to the SPCA. The adoptions unit looked far and wide to find the right home for the dog, and eventually found Anne-Marie Ellis. Anne-Marie already has a burble amongst her dogs, and plenty of space for them all to run around in.
Most of the animals that I have here, they're all adopted, and they've all had a bad history. And I think when they come to a place like this, they can somehow feel that it's okay here. They don't have to worry about anything. Oh, these two love each other. Give us a show of your playfulness. Come. They play so nicely together. A lot of people don't like burrables because they say they're dangerous to have around children and so forth. And I've never found that. I think that you make a dog the type of person you are, and the treatment and love that you give your animal, that goes through to them. Can you believe such a big dog can be so gentle? I mean, he thinks he's a little puppy, and when he jumps up onto you, you just about land on your back. He has no idea of his strength whatsoever. He just, I don't know, he's just a little big boy. Last night he had his first taste of lying on my bed already, so there you are. I think he's found his home.
The dog from Langer is ready to have his suitability for adoption assessed by SPCA behaviour expert Candice de Villiers.
This is a real Afrikaner, a real crossbreed. Probably has some German Shepherd in him, some Hound. We're going to do sociability sitting, just to see his interaction with the human sitting, taking a seat on the chair. He's interested in the human, actually interested in some attention. Okay, the next step we're going to go over to doing the ball, see if he knows how to play with the ball. He's got no idea what a ball is. We're going to utilize the food bowl and also just see if he's a little bit of a resource guarder, indicate if a child had to go and stick their hands in there while he was eating, just to see how his reaction would be. He's very happy to share his food. With him, I would certainly advise training for him. So he needs a little bit of work. He certainly needs some confidence as well. He's uncertain of certain things, of certain behaviors, how to respond, how to react. So we would need to pay him some attention and teach him some skills.
The small antelope or daker that Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua brought in yesterday has spent the night at the SPCA, recovering after being hit by a car. Fortunately, there seems to have been no serious damage done, and the vets have told Kira she can take him back into the wild.
We'll try and recapture him all over again, to put him in the box so we can transport him to take him through to a nature reserve where we're going to release him. Because the vet has checked him out and that, he's quite active. So, I mean, he seems to be good for release. Hold it for me.
He's going to keep it down. Wait, he's going to run there. Okay. Close it. Close. I got him. Oh,
Okay. Okay. Wayne.
Let's do it quickly.
1, 2, 3, go.
This time, they can't sedate the daker, as he needs to be alert when he's released. So getting him into the transport box is a tricky operation.
Just gave him 2 injections. One was antibiotic, another one was an anti-inflammatory. The reason why we don't sedate him now is because we're going to release him now. And we don't want him dopey when we release him, because he needs to be aware if he is any other danger. He needs to still be aware and awake so he can take flight if need be.
Kira's found a release site well away from passing traffic, in the Reedflay Wetland Reserve.
You ready?
Go that way.
The reason why it's called a daker, daker is actually Afrikaans. The reason why it got its name is because as soon as it sees people or any form of danger, it just dives into the bush. And dive is the English translation, really, of daker. The reason why we released it here is in the same area, so to say, of where we got it. It's in a nature reserve. It's a protected area. So, and the unfortunate thing, I mean, where we live in, it is going to be surrounded by houses and, well, residential areas and that. But the area that we're in now, it is enclosed, so it's more of like a safe haven, so to say, for now.
The horse, whose eye was bleeding and swollen, has been at the SPCA for 3 days, and stable master Tex Davey is delighted with his recovery.
It was very superficial, fortunately. Okay, there was no interior damage to the eye. There was the exterior of the top eyelid. There was actually a slight split there, so it looked a lot worse than it actually was. Obviously, with the injury of this type, you get a lot of swelling. So it's predominantly a lot of swelling that took place there. Today, yes, today he can go home. The owners have been in to see me. I have discussed it with them, so I'm quite happy that he can be released.
Inspector Wilbur Kenkabi returns the pony to his grateful owners.
Worried a lot here. Didn't know it will be able to come like these now. Thanks a lot to the SPCA for helping us. This is the community's horses, because when it's like matric balls and proms for the children here at the primary school, we travel with the horses and stuff like that. That's why the community, I like this one. Yeah, happy with this one. Thanks a lot.
It's early morning in Cape Town. At a sewage works in the suburb of Athlone, SPCA Inspector Wayne Hector faces a sticky situation. Two dogs have somehow got themselves into the middle of a settling tank and can't get out again. Workers at the sewage plant called the SPCA as soon as they spotted the dogs. They think they must have been there all night.
I hope it's a simple explanation, like one dog on it and the other one following it. One dog, I don't know, trying to get away from the other one, and the other one just wants to go there. I don't know why they got separated so far apart though. So this one here is a deep, you know. Ons kyk hoe sommer hier ook kan sit. It's quite deep, yeah. 4 meters deep. So the situation is they could be tired, dehydrated. They just want to drop. And if it happens that they drop, I don't know if they've got enough energy. I think they're just exhausted and they can't hold on for long. A deep control pole. It's okay, boy. Hello?
It's precarious. Wayne has to hope the dog won't struggle. Otherwise, they could both end up in the filthy water.
I don't want to be... Say, go fast. Go fast. Go fast. We'll just hope the other one will go easy. That one is easy. It's a bit unsafe there, but this one is very dangerous. I'll have to find a way without injuring myself or killing the dog. So what we can do, we can take the leather, put it down into the water, then we use the leather. No, come. It's okay. It's okay, boy. Okay, what I need to do is I will go up there. Come on, boy. Go on. It's okay. It's okay, boy. Come.
Before Wayne can get down the ladder, the dog begins to make his own move.
Oh!
He's scared and exhausted.
Kom eens aan. Kom, kom. Kom. That's it, that's it. Trek je achterkant. De achterkant, ja. Trek op. 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 So that's one was a bit scary. But he came to the edge. He actually wanted us to help him. So he grew tired and he knew that we were there. We were going to help him. I thought he was maybe too weak to swim, but he had some energy left, so he could swim. I'm pleased that we've got him now, though. So he didn't drown in the sewage water. It's a terrible place to die.
Both dogs will go back to the SPCA to recover from their ordeal. The morning has brought another surprise discovery a few miles away. A porcupine has turned up in a housing estate. Inspector Conchita Milburn and trainee inspector Liesl Pinar have been called in. They've been told the porcupine is bleeding from its nose.
Someone phoned in this morning to say there's a porcupine underneath the bushes. This is a fairly built-up residential area though, so where it came from is hard to say, but it's under the bush there. Apparently when it's approached it doesn't really move, so we need to establish first if it's actually alive and that. It's going to be very awkward.
Can we block the holes at the bottom? Obviously you can't handle the porcupine.
Basically, you just got to be very aware of the quills, and he could run off in any direction. So if he comes for you, you can't reach out and touch him. So we basically just want to block off any holes and let him go straight into the box. Are you going to go that side and rustle it up?
Yeah.
Because they can change their size by inflating their quills or not. They can sneak between gaps because you think they're large, and then they just downsize and sneak through.
The porcupine doesn't seem to be able to move, either to go into the box or to run away.
Hello. Why are you just lying there? He's not moving.
Well, his quills are coming up.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's injured.
Can you come closer?
I'm like by its head. Okay, it's moving. Wait. Are you ready?
Yeah. Diesel, you're here. Diesel, I'm gonna bring the box around.
We can try.
This looks like a magic box. You put something in it.
This must be an injured porcupine, otherwise it would have moved by now. They're usually, I won't say aggressive, but they'll usually move away and raise their claws and all of that. So this one's definitely injured, and saw some blood on the nose with some ants there, so possibly a car accident.
Finally, Conchita coaxes the porcupine into the box.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. On the door. Okay, I'm gonna clear this and then close the door. Yeah, we're gonna take it back to the hospital, get the vets to have a look. Blood coming out of the nose, so possible MVA, head injury. So we're going to get him there ASAP.
There are 93 societies for the prevention of cruelty to animals in South Africa. At the Cape of Good Hope SPCA's base in Cape Town, vet Miles Penfold has been told to expect the arrival of the injured porcupine.
And where did you find him? Was he in the bush or in somebody's backyard?
No, front yard, a few meters from the road.
Okay. Is it quite a built-up area?
Yeah.
What Lisa has described to me, we just have a look at him. He's not looking exactly alert. You know, he's looking quite banged up. Normally, when you pick up these porcupines like this, they've taken a traumatic blow to the head, to the body, especially if there's bleeding out of the nose. It could be a number of things, but it can be as much as having been knocked by the side of a car, been stoned by, people sort of walking by.
Physically examining a wild animal covered in needle-sharp quills is not like looking at a domestic pet.
I'm going to attempt to do a clinical on this guy, and we're going to move him into one of the horse boxes here. It allows me also to see if he's quite lively. Yes, he's running around, and rather than having him in a small cage. Okay, a little bit of trauma on this arm, but not much. We were able to have quite a good look at him when he was at the front of the cage, and we've got a small amount of bleeding on this left-hand eye here. But if you look at him, he's quite bright and alert. You can see he's a lot more active than when you picked him up. There's no signs of trauma on there, which is really great. I suspect that when he was first picked up, probably a little bit dehydrated, obviously scared, hungry and everything. And now that he's been able to cool down out of a more stressful environment, we'll just have to see how he responds. What I'll do is we'll get the broom, we'll flatten that, and then we'll crush him, and then we can quickly give him some injections.
Miles wants to give the porcupine some antibiotics to help it recover from the injuries it has sustained.
No need, little monster.
But the porcupine seems to have found a new lease of life.
You want to use the pole?
There we go. I think clearly you can see from this, this is a healthy porcupine. I think given the degree of healthiness, I don't think it's going to be necessary for us to risk life and limb giving him any injections on this here. We'll observe him for the night, see how he eats and drinks, but certainly watching him around here, that's kind of how they look in the wild. If you're looking at him here, I'd feed him for the night and I'd let him go tomorrow.
The porcupine will be kept under close observation until the following morning, in case he suffers a relapse. Trainee Inspector Moyo Makar has been assigned an investigation into a serious issue. The SPCA has been told that some people in Hanover Park have been fighting their dogs for so-called sport.
How are you, sir? From the SPCA. We received a call that there were some dogs that were being used to fight one another.
Oh.
Yes, from people who live behind you in the Wendy house. Okay, there is a black pit bull. That's the call that we got. Can we have a word with them? Yeah.
The caller said one of the dogs is injured, so Moyo's first priority is to find the dog and see if it needs medical treatment.
Do you mind to tell us what actually happened?
I cannot tell because I was working in this house, my father's
The
house.
woman says she heard a commotion, but didn't see anything.
The case is not about you, it's about the dog that has been used to fight. Because that's animal cruelty, if people are using dogs to fight one another. And that's what we're investigating. The information that we're getting is your son was also involved in the dog fight.
But I didn't see anything because
I never said you, I said your son. Do you mind to tell us what actually happened? Okay. Sorry, ma'am. If you don't want to cooperate with us, then we'll make this a big issue.
Moyo's hitting a wall of silence when a man says he knows where the black dog lives.
It's your dog. Can you tell us what happened, ma'am?
I don't know what happened.
Okay, and where is your dog?
He's not here. I did took him away.
Ma'am?
I did took him away.
Where did you take him to?
To other people.
Where?
Why?
No, ma'am, this is a dog that is suffering. And we're there to combat animal cruelty. We need to know where the dog is. We need to know the truth. And we need to see the dog.
Finally, the woman agrees to take Moyo to where the dog is. Now Moyo will be able to see whether it needs help. The dog has some injuries. It's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
I've just noticed some marks on the underneath. Hello. The dog needs treatment. The lady was telling me that the children that allegedly were involved in the dog fighting, the mother is refusing to let them come out of the property, which is where we were at. So we'll have to take the dog to be seen by a vet, and then in the meantime, then we can also go back into the property and build up a case and get down to the root of the matter.
It seems it was a group of boys who were fighting the dogs. The investigation will continue, but first, this dog will see an SPCA vet. Meanwhile, at the SPCA hospital in Grassy Park, vet George Birch has been examining the dogs rescued from the sewage works. Sadly, one of them was found to have canine distemper and has had to be euthanized, and there are obvious concerns about the one that fell into the filthy water.
What we're looking for in the clinical is just to see general condition of the animal. Obviously, open wounds would be a concern because the animal was in contact with all that dirty water. You would worry about some form of infection. Infected, and also getting the stuff down into the gut, which could obviously lead to quite a bad diarrhea. The clinical that was done, the feces seemed to be normal, and the animal's appetite is excellent. So I don't think that there's any real problems after that exposure to that sewage. Biggest problem here probably, I think, is just to get rid of some of these parasites, and this dog's condition can improve a little bit. Get a behavioral checkup to see what the animal is like with other animals and generally with people. And if it's an okay candidate there, then we can put it in the kennels adoption system.
At least this dog looks like having a brighter future. The porcupine, rescued after it was found shocked and bleeding, possibly after being hit by a car, has spent a peaceful night at the SPCA. This morning, he seems in remarkably good shape, and the vets have given trainee inspector Liesl Pienaar the go-ahead to release him.
Dr. Penfold had a look at the porcupine, and it is showing some signs of aggression, and it's looking lively and active, so we're just going to release it. don't think getting him into the box is going to be too much of a problem because he's going to see it as a safe option of hiding away. They can be a bit dangerous. The quills can, it would hurt if it was lodged into you, as well as infection and things like that you need to be worried about. But they give you a warning ahead. I mean, the quills that we're raising, and usually they rattle their tails. That's warning enough for you to back off.
Liesl plans to take the porcupine to a bird sanctuary, not too far from where he was found, but far enough to be safe from passing cars.
This is a good release site because it's a fairly natural area, as well as there's lots of bushy vegetation, as you can see. We've released here before. It's a managed site, and it's mostly your bird watchers that come in here and that, so it's not a lot of traffic going through here.
We have a population of about 3 to 4 porcupines that we know of. There might be more because we regularly get tracks and quills and things like that, but our estimation is that there's about 3 to 4 in the area already.
This was a good release. I would say a good recovery as well from yesterday. I mean, he was walking fine, running, bouncing. There wasn't any signs of injury or walking, limping, anything like that. So he'll be all right. Good release.
Trainee Inspector Moya Makar has brought the Staffordshire Bull Terrier he found in Hanover Park back to the SPCA hospital. The dog has injuries from fighting. Vet Cookie Harris will assess the damage.
This is something that we see very commonly when you have a staffy and in an area from Hanover Park. They're likely to be using the dog for fighting. You can see here in the neck area, underneath ventral neck, there's bruises around. You can see that. As where the dog would really try to grab another dog. I think they know that they should go for a jugular when they are attacked. But what also is interesting is you can see there's edema. It's just massive swelling. It's actually very interesting because this is one breed that's actually I found when they're well trained and they're well cared for. They're very lovely natured dogs. But I think sometimes people just take them for fighting because of their fierce bodies. They're just such obedient dogs. So it's very easy for people to use them for the wrong reasons. So the best thing to do with this dog is, besides giving her anti-inflammatories to reduce the swelling, shaving that and cleaning it. Otherwise the dog is in a very good condition. She's a good-natured dog, so you kind of want to think she's very well trained.
The dog's safe here now. Meanwhile, Moyo will try to track down the people who encourage the dogs to fight for their own entertainment. They could face criminal charges for this. First, though, Moyo has been assigned to another job. He's accompanying Senior Inspector James Murphy on a drive 60 miles east of Cape Town. James has been told cows are being allowed to suffer on a farm near Malmesbury. It needs checking out, and it's a useful part of Moyo's training. When they arrive, there's no one around, but James can see for himself some of the problems.
You can see there's the water running down there, and the area around it is so muddy. I mean, this is where I got stuck. Looks like the guys try to dig away all the muddy bits, but I mean, that doesn't help. You're just digging a hole. When it rains again, it's just going to be mud. I'm guessing that all this water comes from the trough itself. That's possibly leaking somewhere. The cattle are getting stuck. You could see they're quite muddy up to their knees, some even further, and it's unacceptable. And it's going to have to get some sort of bulldozer in here to let the water run off, and maybe even possibly even get the cows out of the area and let it dry and put them in an area where they can actually get to a trough without sinking in.
For some animals, it's too late.
There's a dead calf here. It was stuck in the mud here, and I think the back legs are probably stuck in the mud, and that's why it just couldn't get anywhere and it just died. And I mean, if the farmer was, and his workers were vigilant, they would have been able to realize that there was a calf stuck here and helped it. This borders on cruelty. These two cows here seem to be struggling with what appears to be foot rot, which is basically a direct indication of muddy conditions, because I mean the mud just sits there and it stays damp and it causes infection and things like that. So this is why we're so concerned about this area.
The conditions are no better inside the cow sheds.
You can see they got mud all the way up to their knees. The fencing is just very rudimentary and, secured with wires and loose bits of wire hanging around. I mean, it's these bars and things, they're rusting. The calves are likely to stick their head through here and get injured. I mean, the general hygiene of this place, it might be a farm, but it doesn't have to look so disgusting, This calf has got some big sort of lump on its throat here. It's hanging, and I'm not sure what it is, but I think I've taken some pictures and we can always just discuss it with our vet and see whether he knows what it might be, whether it's life-threatening or just not a problem. And then we can then contact the owner and say, look, he needs to make a plan with that, or he needs to get his vet out to. Calves are coming out of here and this beam is like in the way and they kick their leg against it. They could hurt themselves seriously. They haven't bothered to repair it, they just leave it.
Murphy's seen enough. He needs to speak to the owner urgently, and then he'll be back with the option of laying criminal charges if things don't improve quickly. Senior Inspector James Murphy is responding to a call about two small dogs living in the back of a pickup truck, or bakkie.
Apparently the people keep the dogs in a bakkie here. The dogs are locked in the bakkie all day, and so we just need to find out what the story is, what their story, side of the story is. Let's go and see what's happening there. Hi there. Good day. Are you the owner of the dogs here? No, we received a concern about these dogs here. Why are they locked in the bakkie now? Why do they have to be in the bakkie and not running around the garden?
The woman explains that she and her husband are staying temporarily with a friend here, but the friend won't allow their dogs in the house.
The fact is the dogs, the one's got the eye problem and the other one's got the skin problem. And they're all kind of confined in a bakkie, which isn't really ideal. The hot weather's coming, and if the dogs are still sitting in here, I mean, and it can take a couple of minutes before those dogs are actually dead. And in terms of the exercise, and
I take them to the park every day. I walk them, I feed them, I give them water. They're not starving.
They're not neglected.
Phooey. It's a bit of a difficult one.
One of the dogs has a runny eye and some skin irritation, but James can see the dogs are well cared for. He's not happy with their living conditions, though.
What I've asked you is take the dogs to a vet for treatment of the eye problem and skin condition. And then what I've written here is keeping the dogs in a vehicle is unacceptable and a danger. Heat stroke to the dogs. Should anything happen to these dogs, you can be charged with cruelty.
Well, I appreciate your understanding anyway.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So I just don't want anything to happen to these dogs in the bakkie, and it's not really safe for them being here. It's not ideal. It gets hot.
The man has promised to get the dogs out of the bakkie immediately if the weather hots up.
Dogs being in the bakkie, as I said, is very dangerous. So I've just given him a warning in terms of that. And the one dog's got an injury to the eye. It's like an infection. It's all running and the eye's swollen and that sort of thing. At this stage, the dogs aren't in any danger. It is cool at the moment. And as far as things go, we are looking at cooler weather through to the weekend. So he's aware that that's a dangerous situation and he needs to make a plan. They're trying their best. I mean, the dogs have got some water there, they've got a bowl of food there. blankets and that sort of thing. So they've tried to make it as best as possible under the circumstances, you know, so you've got to kind of give them a little bit of leeway and just let them know where they stand.
James will be making regular checks to make sure the dogs are okay. Inspector Wayne Hector is in the centre of Cape Town. He's received a call about a young dog in distress.
Just received a case about this one puppy is badly burned. Might have happened over the weekend. Belongs to vagrants, so we had to go check and see the dog is getting veterinary treatment. Let's check if they're not denying any veterinary treatment or treatment.
The dog belongs to this homeless woman. She says she doesn't know how it got the injury, but she plans to take it to a vet. Wayne's not convinced she means it.
It's a burn. It is a burn. Waar je hem gevat voor treatment? He's got a burn. She says she's going to take him for treatment at the mobile stop.
Wayne doesn't want to take any chances, so he spells out the woman's choices.
Volgende week komt en ze heeft niks gedaan aan die zaak. Dan ik je hond vat. En zij kan liable is om geprosecute te worden. Dan refuse om je hond te vat voor treatment. Dan vat ik je hond en zij kan geprosecute worden omdat zij geneglect. Zie je? Omdat zij het gerefuse om te vat naar wet toe. Gerefuse om treatment te geven. Verstaan? Wat gaat je maken?
Maar ik denk het beste is vat om mama.
It seems like it was burnt or it's a minor, the skin wasn't torn or something, but there is a definite injury here. And we have to check with the vet to see if it's got an infection.
Now the dog will get to see a vet immediately at the SPCA hospital. The seas around Cape Town are full of life. Thousands of Cape fur seals swim in these waters. Once in a while, one of them's bound to get into a spot of bother. And that's where Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua comes in.
We got a call about a seal that's in somebody's backyard. That's a call that we got from Marine and Coastal. So we're just coming out here to check to see that he's through. It's kind of strange to find a seal in a backyard. We didn't get any info about the condition after the seal. The caller wasn't too keen on going quite close to the seal, which is kind of good because you don't want people to get bitten and you don't know if it is going to be quite active in that. But it's a good thing that we are out here. I mean, the seal wouldn't be able to get back to the sea by itself. Hey, guy.
The homeowner was quite right to be wary of the seal's teeth. Catching it requires an expert technique, both to avoid injury and to minimize the stress caused to the wild animal.
There's no place that you can actually get out of here. Wait.
The seal showed no sign of injury or illness. It seems he just got lost.
We saw him from the window, he's just lying there. And we came and looked at him and he started running up and down. And then I phoned for you guys.
Okay, brilliant. And I mean, it's not quite, you don't actually see a lot of seals on
Not
this.
in the property.
No.
No.
So we'll just take it back now.
Thank you.
Sea.
Lovely.
Thanks. Well, what I did over there, the thing is, I mean, he's quite active. It's not like the normal 6 seals, you just go up to it and then put the blanket down. Normal with any wildlife, you just close the eyes, calms them down, and allows you to get a good hold.
It's a short drive to the bay and back where the seal belongs.
It's a Cape fur seal, and he's a juvenile. He's probably last year's pup. But you find a lot of these pups when they're about this age, they are a bit thin because they've just weaned off from their mothers. So they're now trying to fend for themselves, basically. There's a colony over here on this side. We find a lot of these Cape fur seals on our shores. So it's quite a common seal here. But it's just that on that side where he was, you've never been able to get back to the sea, really, because it's all fenced off over there. Yeah, but he seems to be quite happy.
It's a mystery how the seal got into the fenced-off area, but hopefully he won't be making the same mistake again. Back at the hospital, Inspector Wayne Hector has dropped off the dog with a suspected burn for a full examination by vet Cookie Harris.
The habitus of this dog is very nervous dog. I think you can see he's got just slight trembling if you look at him. Just looking at his eyes, there's a discharge on his right eye. And I'll just go in and check. His mucous membranes are very congested, very, very red. So I suspect that this is just a conjunctivitis confined to this one eye as compared to if there's two of them. He's also got very good teeth, and he's got all his teeth. I would suspect he's about the age of 2. Okay, I think this is slippery. And then he's got this wound which looks more like an abrasion wound. I know it suggests a burn, but you find this is very typical of motor vehicle wounds where the wheel of the car just goes over the dog, but the dog manages to run away in time. But it's healed very well. So basically what one needs to do from here on is just treat him for the conjunctivitis, and once that is sorted, he should be fine.
The early signs are he'll make a good pet.
He's actually very easy to handle. He doesn't growl or anything to show any aggressiveness. So he'll be a nice dog to rehome, really.
Now Wayne's been asked to assist trainee inspector Moya McCarr in his investigation into dogfighting in Hanover Park. Moya has been patiently gathering evidence and thinks he's close to finding the young men who fought the dogs. He's been given 2 names.
Hello. Good morning, ma'am. From the SPCA. Could we see? And
Stop staying here.
okay.
Staying the other side.
Okay.
The boss of the other dog wants to fight with the dog. So they challenge one another, the dogs.
If people try to organize the dog fights and they gain something out of it, with pleasure or money, it is prosecutable. They can go to jail.
Dog fighting. If you are there also as a spectator, you are
Yeah.
guilty. If he is innocent, he's going to tell us exactly what actually happened.
Waar is hy, man? Agter.
Hello. She's given us the name of one of the ringleaders, if I'm to put it that way.
Kan jy maar gou die hond kyk? Asseblief, sorry. Okay, dankie. Is dit die filmcrew, man?
Finally, this young man admits he was at the fight.
The last time when you won the road and I ran away, because I was scared you're going to take me. And so I didn't come in the road.
So you were involved with the dog fighting?
Yeah, I was involved.
Because we okay, you just told me no, he was the guy that fought.
I was the one.
He was fighting with the dog. So you know that it's prosecutable and you can get a fine or get a sentence for it. You must then now make an affidavit, a statement. Must be signed by the police officer, commissioner of oath, stamped by the police station to say you were involved. And you do realize that what you've done is wrong, because the dog fighting is, I know it's for pleasure for you guys, pleasure sometimes money, but for the dogs, it's injuries, and some of them don't get treated and they die of the injuries. He's going to sign a thing that he's not going to do it again. If he's ever caught again with this thing, or even his name be mentioned in an organized fight, then he can be picked up and arrested.
This is a major breakthrough. A signed affidavit could lead to the other dog fighters, and it's evidence that could be presented to a court.
At the moment, he's very cooperative, and hopefully we're going to get to the bottom of the matter as to what actually happened. He's admitted to being involved in the dog fighting, and he's going to write an affidavit stating everything that transpired and all the people that were involved.
Moyo and Wayne want to make sure that all the culprits know that they have committed a crime and could face prosecution. They'll be back soon to continue their investigations. Meanwhile, the staffy that was involved in the fighting is at the SPCA. Her owner agreed that they can find her a new home, away from any risk of dog fighting. First though, animal behaviour expert Candice de Villiers has to make sure she won't be a danger to any new owners.
We're going to be doing a behavioural assessment on this dog, just to assist us with finding her a suitable home. We have a series of tests, and we're going to start with stroking her, just seeing what her interaction would be with the handler. Enjoying that, clearly, liking the tummy rub. Next would be the teeth check. See how she handles the face handling, if a child can come up to her and touch her in her face. Pulling a little bit, allowing it. Here's a tummy rub. We're going to go over to doing a safe hug. Safe hug indicates just if a child had to come up to her, grab her around her neck and try and hug her or kiss her or anything like that. We call it a safe hug if we put our hand over her head in case she wants to possibly bite the handler. She's 100% with that, enjoying that. We're going to go over to doing a food bowl.
Special care has to be taken with any dog that has been encouraged by its misguided owners to fight.
We're going to use a plastic hand to put the hand in the food bowl to see if she'd allow someone handling a food bowl, putting their hands in there. Okay, so she seems to be quite all right with being handled while her face is in the food bowl. I would describe her as being a very friendly dog. She obviously enjoys the human contact. Staffies can make very, very good family pets. They're very human-driven, very human affectionate. Obviously, because of the breed, a lot of people will be interested in her, but we would just have to be specific as to who we allow her to get her.
She's passed Candice's test. Now they'll try to find her the perfect new home. Senior Inspector James Murphy is heading back to the farm east of Cape Town. James has been in regular phone contact with the owner, and he's been assured that conditions have improved. Now he wants to see for himself.
We're back at the farm with the cows who were stuck in the mud to come and do a follow-up and see what changes they've made or whether they have made any. Just need to locate the man in charge, or the foreman here, and then we can proceed with our inspection.
But there were certain issues that needed to be addressed.
The foreman is there to meet James, but he has some shocking news. The owner has been killed.
The gentleman is the acting foreman for the time being, but the actual owner has subsequently been shot, and at this stage his sisters have assumed responsibility for the farm with the guidance of the community and the farmers and stuff, and helping them. So we just hope things don't go down in terms of the welfare of the animals. That's what these guys have got water. My concern is that only 2 of the blocks have actually got water. I'm just wondering who's actually supposed to be caring for them. And I mean, that one is coughing.
Outside, James is at first reassured that some progress has been made, but further afield, he can see that there are still serious problems.
This is the cattle in the field here, and it was very, very waterlogged at the one trough there where they were drinking water. The water was leaking out, and it was just making the ground unbearably muddy. I actually got stuck in it last time and ruined a pair of boots. My hat. What the hell's happening here? This is not good. Looks like somebody died here. Doesn't look like a big animal, but obviously there's an accepted mortality rate in terms of the dairy farming. One would have thought they would have either scooped up the body and taken it away, dug a hole and buried it. We've got another dried up carcass over there. It looks pretty well decomposed. And we've got the muddy patch here, which is not as big as it was last time. It can stand here, but the water's definitely running all the way down here. What's wrong with you, girl? This car can't get up. There's something wrong with that leg. That knee is swollen. 5109. It's an issue that needs to be addressed. It's not a huge amount of improvement, but yeah, it's a little worrying, and I think we need to look into this and get hold of the current owners and find out what they're planning on doing. I mean, shame, I feel sorry for the family, yeah, but the animals do need to be cared for properly, and you know, there's issues that need to be addressed. So I will be writing out a warning and contacting the owner, and hopefully we can sort this out.
With so many animals and so many problems, this is a case that will take patience, hard work, and time to resolve. James will be making frequent visits here from now on. Regardless of the circumstances, the animal suffering has to stop. Senior Inspector James Murphy is heading back to Quills River to check on the dogs that were being kept in the back of a pickup truck or bakkie.
This is the Maltese poodles that were locked in the bakkie because the owner wouldn't allow them in onto the property because he was worried about his dog getting infection from the other people's dogs, and he'd let them kind of live here for a bit in the interim.
The bakkie hasn't moved. What about the dogs?
Hi, how are you doing? Are they in the bakkie or are they in the yard now?
The friend the dog's owners are staying with has set aside an area in the yard for the dogs to live in.
What, in the yard all day? Okay, that's great. And they've got a kennel there?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So you start
bedding and everything.
Okay, now that's great, man. That's really great. It's much better than being in the bakkie. I think that was the major concern here, is the dogs being in the bakkie.
No, because we're looking for a good home, and when you get one there, things will be a lot different. And things are coming right now, so from what I saw you. So
you reckon you'll have...
You're looking positive. Yeah, you won't see me
accommodation soon?
No, it'll be a month or two, and hopefully be out here and have a place of my own.
Great, thanks very much.
All right, James, thanks for anyway looking in there.
It's a satisfactory conclusion for everyone, especially the dogs.
The owners actually let them keep the dogs in the garden now. That's a positive thing. At least the dogs aren't going to be in the car all day, and I mean, with temperatures in our summers of 30, sometimes up to 40 degrees, especially in this area, the northern suburbs, a dog could be fried in no time. So it's really much better that the dogs are in the yard.
Try to come up. It's okay, boy.
2 weeks ago, Inspector Wayne Hector rescued 2 dogs from a settling tank at the Athlone sewage works. Falling into the filthy water did this dog no lasting harm.
Come here.
But a new problem has emerged. The kennel staff have noticed he walks awkwardly.
Come with him like you're making him run a bit. What we have done with this dog is we have taken x-rays just to establish what exactly is happening with the hip area, because just from the way he walks, looking at his gait, you can tell that he wobbles and sways his body around.
The x-rays produced a surprise. The dog has previously had surgery for hip dysplasia.
Previously, this femur, this bone, which is the femur, must have looked like that, and that is the head of the femur. And what they have done then is amputated it at the neck to try and alleviate the pain. Now, this is one of the problems we face here. Is this dog obviously had an owner, and after about 14 days, nobody has come through to take the dog. So whether or not we'll be able to find a home is a do or die situation in the sense that this animal has a problem. Now, this is our dilemma. How long do you keep a dog in a kennel before it finds a home? And yes, we will give this dog a chance, and we will keep it in the kennels, keep it going. It will need anti-inflammatories, so we'll put it on anti-inflammatories just to ease the pain. So at some point we've got to make the hard decision. And indeed, in terms of behavior, when you keep an animal in the cage for too long, you can clearly see the change in behavior as well, because it's a very stressful environment.
The adoptions team desperately hopes someone will come forward who is prepared to take on a dog with these medical needs. They'll be working hard to find that special person. The young dog that was signed over to the SPCA by his homeless owner recovered from his injury, and he didn't take long to get adopted. The Budler family decided Miggles was just the pet for them.
We were very interested in having a family pet. We've been here about a year and a half now from Chicago, and we wanted a dog. The kids and I went down to SPCA in Grassy Park, and we looked at the different dogs there, and we were very interested in just a calm and quiet, good family pet. We weren't looking for a guard dog, but just a dog that we could love and enjoy. And we saw Miggles there and knew he was the one we wanted to adopt. Come on, Miggles. When we first saw him, he was actually way back in the cage, and he was very shy and very timid. And I don't know, my heart just went out towards this one. And to be honest, he's been a perfect pet. He's very calm, he's obedient, he likes human contact. He snuggles with the boys. He has his spurts of energy so the boys can play with him, but otherwise he's really been a perfect pet for us.
We all take turns playing with him outside. Yeah, we take him to the park, take turns feeding him, doing the chores.
His favorite activity is most likely sleeping, and then sleeping more.
Yeah. Oh, good, you ran. When we went to the SPCA to look for a dog, they had a description on each cage telling us what the dog was like. And for Miggles, they described his personality as timid, scared, very scared of cats, and needing confidence. And they were right on. That's exactly how he is. He's very timid, but he's flowering with the love that he's getting.